News Voice is the world's first mobile app that helps you track where your news is coming from. News Voice helps you track what corporate interests might be influencing the narratives in the news you read every day. Arm yourself against corporate media monopolies by downloading the News Voice app for free using the link right underneath this video. Donald Trump held another rally yesterday. This time it was in Moon Township, Pennsylvania, which is where I guess the Pittsburgh airport is. Trump arriving in every state and basically telling them all the same thing now. Your state had its best year ever last year. Then the China virus came in, as he calls it. But next year is going to be the best again. It's going to be the best year ever next year. Trump seemed sort of particularly wound up yesterday. Maybe he was reacting to early news that the vaccine emergency use authorization he had been hoping for October is not going to happen, as we discussed earlier in the program. Could have been anything. You never know. Could have seen something on the plane on the way in that it enraged him. Let's look at some outrageous moments. I know that lots of these rallies start to blend together, but we are under 6 weeks from the election and people are voting now, early voting, absentee voting. I don't want any of this behavior to be normalized. So we're going to keep talking about it. Maybe the strangest moment of the entire event was Donald Trump lamenting that he doesn't have any friends anymore. Check this out. The crowd sort of doesn't know what to make of it.
I could call up every guy. They call me up and they say, "Sir, how are you, sir? Mr. President, sir, I have friends." I don't have too many friends left because I used to be comfortable. You know, you have to be comfortable with people, right? And I have friends. I have one friend, Richard. I talk about him all the time. But they're multiply this times 100 people. And Richard used to call me up 5-6 years ago. "Hey, let's have dinner." "All right, where do you want to go?" "I don't know. Go to some crazy restaurant." Today, the restaurants are all closed in New York. They don't want to open them. They want to make them do badly until November 4th. Don't worry, they're opening on November 4th. But it's true. So it's Richard on the phone. Richard, my friend for many, many years. And I said, "Hey, Rich, how you doing?" "Mr. President, sir, how are you?" I said, "Well, he's been calling me Donnie and Don and DJ and all." "Richard, are you okay? Everything good?" "Yes, sir, Mr. President, sir. You're doing a great job, and I'd like to thank you." "Good, Richard. Richard, loosen up, please. You don't have to call me Mr. President." I said, "So just call me Donald. It's okay. Thank you, Donald. I really appreciate it." And you hear the guy, he can't breathe. You know, he's having a hard time breathing. He's very nervous. And then at the end of the phone, he goes, "Mr. President, again, thank you so much for the job you're doing." He hangs up. I said, "How can you be friends with it?" You know, it just doesn't work. It's like I've lost a lot of people this way.
There is a lot going on there psychologically that would be great fodder for a few years of psychotherapy for Donald Trump, really a ton of it. But as a story to tell at a rally, it is bizarre and odd. And then this was maybe my favorite moment of the entire rally. Trump did the Sir routine about Melania, his wife. So the Sir routine is when Trump tells a story of someone talking to him, he'll say, "And they came to me and they said, 'Sir, we can't do it,' or whatever," right? This time, he tells a story in which Melania refers to him as sir. Outrageously bizarre.
Happening, that thing would turn around like a pretzel. And I said, "Oh, it does move." But they never want to show the crowds. They never. Last night, now I went home and I tell you this, I go home all the time. "First lady, how'd you like the crowd?" "Sir, I didn't see it. I didn't see it."
Melania said to Trump, "Sir, I didn't see the crowd." How strange is that? Is this confirmation that Trump's Sir stories are lies? Or is this an admission from Trump that his wife refers to him as Sir? Either way, it's not exactly stable genius. Then Trump went back to something he's been talking about more and more lately, which is space exploration. NASA, NARS, as he referred to it over the weekend, Mars, of course, as you and I would know it. And Trump, I guess because he's just constantly thinking about golf, talked about NASA's great fairways rather than runways. Take a look.
On the moon in the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. You know, NASA was an absolute disaster. Grass was growing through the fairways, too. They had fairways. That's about all they used with a fairway. And now we have something right through the runways.
Totally, just utterly unintelligible. Donald Trump, I don't know if people have noticed this, but we saw it there. Trump does this unintentionally hilarious thing where most people, when they read a speech off of a prompter, the idea is these are my words that I'm reading. This is my speech. Trump reads the prompter almost like he's reading a news article and reacts to what's on the prompter like it's news. And sometimes he actually seems sort of like surprised by what's on the prompter. It's bizarre. Then Trump went into these, our friend Aaron Rupar on Twitter called it Gore porn, Gore, G-O-R-E porn, about MS-13 using knives. It just makes almost no sense at all.
If you don't mind Democrats, we'll bring them the hell out of our country. We'll get them out of here. Some of them are so violent, we have to keep them. We don't want to house them for 50 years. But if we let them go, they come back in as much as we watch, you know. Look, if they come back in, we don't want it. We don't want them. So we keep them here. We have no choice. If the left gains power, they will abolish. Republicans will always, they're going to abolish. Republicans will always stand with these incredible heroes of ICE and Border Patrol. You have to see these ICE people. They go into a den of MS-13. They call them a den, a nest, where you have these guys that are vicious, vicious gang members. And they go in there, they just start swinging. It's the craziest thing. They love it. Now, who wants that job? Do you want that job? Even, look, he's a tough guy sitting here. You too. You're tough guys. You don't want any part of it. They're just incredible. And they love our country. They love our country. And then people say, oh, they're too rough. They're too rough. You have no idea how bad some of these gangs are, what they do. They use knives because it's more painful. They cut people up.
Again, the crowd is a mix of people, some who will just clap at anything. There was a particular woman behind Trump. No matter what he said, she would start pumping her fists and cheering anything he said. But then there's another half of the crowd that has no idea what Trump is talking about. They go almost silent during these rallies because it's all crazy. Trump then went into the portion of the speech, which he's been doing lately, where he glorifies violence against journalists. Here he's talking about how funny it is that a guy who was a reporter was manhandled by law enforcement.
Grabbed him. They grabbed him. They were grabbing him left and right. Sometimes they grab one guy. I'm a reporter. Get out of here. They threw him aside like he was a little bag of popcorn. But I mean, honestly, when you watch the crap that we've all had to take so long, when you see that, it's actually, you don't want to do that, but when you see it, it's actually a beautiful sight.
It's a beautiful sight, Trump says. Reporters tossed around by law enforcement. You love to see it, says Trump. And again, the crowd, some are cheering mindlessly, but others are sort of wondering, like, wait a second, we toss around reporters now? Should I really be cheering for this? Like, there actually are some people in the crowd who you can see are a little tentative about what Trump is talking about. And then continuing with the glorification of violence against reporters, Trump keeps mocking MSNBC reporter Ali Velshi for getting hit with a rubber bullet or tear gas in Minneapolis. He refers to him as the CNN guy. He's not a CNN guy. He's MSNBC. Take a listen.
Go in. We have the National Guard. And remember that beautiful sight? The street was a mess. That idiot reporter from CNN got hit on the knee with a canister of tear gas, right? And he went down. I've been hit. He's been hit. The one with the shaved hair. Maybe I'll do that one day. I'll give it up. I'll say.
So again, he keeps telling the same story. The CNN guy, the bald CNN guy, he's talking about MSNBC's Ali Velshi, but we're laughing at media getting hit. That does not seem American to me. It seems like the exact opposite of everything I thought this country was supposed to stand for. And then Trump plays up the Joe Biden dementia stuff and the Joe Biden is on drugs stuff.
The gloves off. This guy doesn't have a clue. He doesn't know where the hell he is. And they'll give him a shot or something. I don't know. He's going to get something. He'll be, because I watched him so badly. He performed so badly in the debates. And then with Bernie, he was average. Not great, but he got through. And I said, what the hell is he taking? and we'd like to ask him. And I said that we want a drug test. We want a drug test. We'll both take it. We'll both take it.
Yet Trump just continues to act like, Biden before the Bernie debate was like Sammy Sosa juicing to get more home runs or something like that. Very, very strange. And of course, not totally unreasonable to see this as projection. Maybe it's Trump who's using uppers to increase his performance. And then the last one that's just hilarious. Trump asks the crowd what gas costs these days. And someone yells out that it costs $15. And Trump seems to believe it.
Energy, almost $7,000. But we have to include energy. I mean, how much are you paying for your gasoline? You never saw $2 gasoline. You're less, right? It's less. They go up, it's less. Now it's a big difference. What is it nowadays? Come on, tell me. I haven't got any gas. I haven't stopped recently at a gas station. 15? Okay. Because for a while it was way under 2.
Imagine being so out of touch that you think gas might cost $15 per gallon. Like, that would be weird for the average American. Maybe if you live in a city, you don't drive, you don't even go by a gas station, or when you do, you don't look. Like, maybe somebody might not know is where exactly is gas. Trump is the president and he's talking about gas prices, and someone yells out 15 and Trump thinks gas might be $15 a gallon. I've had an electric car for a while. I've not been to gas stations for a while, but I can be reasonably certain that gas is like between $1.80 and $3.70 a gallon, right? If somebody says gas is $15 a gallon, it doesn't pass the sniff test. Trump is the president and he says, oh, it's at 15. No rally on today's schedule for Donald Trump as of right now. He is scheduled to do a press conference. Reminder, September 29th, just 6 days away, the first debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I will be streaming it live starting at 8:30 p.m. in the East, 5:30 p.m. in the West on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And I do hope that you will join me.